So I welcome our second speaker for the day, Dr. Shalini Kashmiria, ma'am. Dr. Shalini Kashmiria is an assistant professor at Department of Law, Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla, with a teaching experience of 13 years with specialization in business law. Her research papers, articles, conference proceedings are in refereed and peer-reviewed national and international journals, and chapters in edited book volumes with micro-scale perspective, mostly focused on cybercrime, biopiracy of traditional knowledge, competition policy, IPR issues, biodiversity, conversation, and company law. She has active participation in national and international seminars, workshops, colloquium, and is frequently invited as a resource person. She has done a project on tribal communities of Himachal Pradesh in collaboration with Ministry of Tribal Studies, Government of India. She has also organized National Moot Court and an investor awareness workshop in collaboration with SEBI, Shimla Division. She is Department Coordinator of Cleanliness Drive under Pradhan Mantri Swachh Bharat Mission and Department Coordinator of University Alumni Association. I welcome you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Kanupriya, and it's really a matter of gratification, and I'm very thankful to you and your coordinator, Dr. Shailja Vasudeva, for giving me this platform to express my opinion. Firstly, let me share my slide and see whether it is visible or not. Let me share it. Okay, is it visible to everyone? Is the slide visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay. So the topic, I'm very glad to interact with everybody today. And wait a minute, just wait a minute. Let me share it. There is some, kindly bear with me today because the climate is very bad today here in Shimla. It's very foggy. So if something happens, kindly bear it with me and please do let me know. Okay.
Sure, ma'am.
So a very warm good evening to all my audience. And I was going through the audience and I was seeing that we are from across India and global also. So the topic that I have taken, although it is related to higher education system, but not directly. I'm not talking about your research methodologies. I will be talking about a very prominent thing, which has become cancerous in the 21st century. And that is cyber crimes. So I will be talking about what are the cyber crimes which are there in our academics, in the higher education system, and how they have to be regulated, and what are the cyber security issues involved, and how as a person, as an academician, and as a researcher, as we have research scholars also, we can take some sincere steps to control these cyber crimes. So when we talk about the cyber crimes, firstly, there are certain basic terminologies that we must understand. And you are aware about it, but there is just an eyewash for you again. Firstly, we are talking about the internet. So when we understand by internet, it is the interconnection between the computers. In common parlance, when we try to understand this concept, we say that computer is understood as computer and internet, but no. When we talk in legal sense, internet is networking among the computers for the purpose of transmission of communication, and that transmission of communication can be of your choice. It can be emails, it can be your personal communication, it can be downloading of files, it can be uploading of files, it can also go with your audio, video data, or if you are a professional, it can go with your architectural, three-dimensional programs and so on, right? And when this interconnection takes place, the place where this interconnection or internetworking take place, this is called as a cyberspace. You call it in a simple language, you call it by the name cyber cafe, where the computers are connected to each other through the local area network, and then they go to the wide area network, and then it is global. It is across the boundaries. When we talk about cyber crimes, when we talk to a common man, like a student from social sciences, he will understand cybercrime as cybercrime and computer crime are one and the same thing. But when we talk in the legal sense, although under the laws, the legislation which is in India, they are considered to be one, but in practical application, these two terms are totally different. When we talk about computer crime, here internet connection is not required. Either it is going to be some kind of destruction or some vandalism or sabotage related to a computer, or it can be some kind of destruction of computer hardware or computer software or the input and output devices which are linked with the computer. And when we are talking about the cyber crime, then it is the area when the computer is also linked to your network. The computer is linked to the network and the crime is being committed. So the dimension of computer crime and cyber crime are totally different. When it is a cyber crime, it is possible that the computer is not the target. The criminals are not interested in destroying the computer. The computer can be used as a medium or a tool. For example, if it is a kind of defamation some XYZ wants to do. So if you have a computer and an internet connection attached to it, you can put a defamatory statement against that person in libel, that is by gesture, or in slander. You can put that defamatory statement, and that defamatory statement, you can decide where you want to put that defamatory statement. You can choose your audience and you can decide where to put this defamatory statement, and you can very simply put a post there which will have a qualitative impact as well as quantitative impact. Qualitative in the sense that you have selected an audience, suppose you and XYZ are friends, and you are posting something on a website where the society knows both of you, and there are around about 100 or 200 people in that group. So it is having a qualitative effect as well as the quantity is also involved, and this crime is being committed by a single click of mouse. Now the question arises, why this crime is increasing? Why it is considered to be cancerous in the present century? There are so many reasons for it. The very first reason for it is the anonymity. Any person of any age group, of any gender, from any place around the globe who is having an internet connection and a computer can commit this crime. Second most conspicuous feature is accessibility. If we talk about India, you can get an internet operating computer below 5,000 INR, and 50 rupees SIM, internet SIM is required for the commission of the crime. So it is internet is very easily accessible, and the device to run this internet is also very easily accessible. So accessibility is also the reason why this crime is increasing. The third most important aspect of the nature of this crime is mobility. That means as I've already told you, with a single click of mouse, a single message can reach as many people as you want, without any kind of riders, without any kind of disclosure of your physical identity, and without any kind of disclosure of your location. So this is also a reason why this crime is increasing. The next most important issue is the jurisdictional issue. See, we have to understand that this crime is not a crime which is based upon physical identities. It is a vice crime. It is a crime which is based upon IT skills, and this crime involves IT experts. And this crime works on internet protocol addresses. So in this kind of crime, you cannot decide the boundaries. If you are sitting in India and you want to commit a crime in Canada, if you know you have the URL addresses, if you have the transfer control protocols and the internet protocol address, you can commit it. The only requirement is an internet connection and a computer. So because of this jurisdictional disparity among the nations, as our laws are not the same. For example, in one country, pornography can be a crime. and in the other country, pornography is not a crime. So if a person has committed pornography in India, where it is a crime, from a country where it is not a crime, then it becomes next to impossible for the Indian police authorities to ask for the extradition of this criminal. So this kind of disharmony among the laws of the various countries is also a very big factor for the commission of this crime. Before starting with my division of these crimes, as I have done it depending upon their nature, I must add here that in our Indian Penal Code, there are two kinds of crimes basically. All the crimes come in these two categories. The first is the blue collar crimes and the second is the white collar crimes. Blue collar crimes are being understood as the crimes which are involving hurt, grievous hurt, physical harm to the person, or destruction of the property of the person physically. Whereas the white collar crimes are being understood as the crimes which are committed by the people with white shirts and black ties. That means these are the crimes which do not involve any physical harm. They are basically committed for the purpose of extracting money. So they basically revolve around money laundering, how to have access to the money of a person. So when we talk about the cyber crimes, no matter in the higher educational institutions, all the cyber crimes, one way or the other, directly are in the category of white collar crimes. No doubt they can lead to the blue collar crimes as well, right? So depending upon the nature of the cyber crimes, there is a division of cyber crimes. The first one is the cyber crimes against a person or the individual, and it includes mental harassment by emails, sending somebody emails which are causing mental harassment to the person. Second is your cyber stalking. Cyber stalking means to follow somebody online in an unsolicited manner. You're following somebody and it becomes a crime the very moment the person who is being followed is not liking it. That person is considering it to be a nuisance or some kind of disturbance in his personal life, in his privacy. So when that person complains about it, it becomes a crime. And when it is done online, like posting a message, I saw you there, or giving somebody calls and not answering, this is called as stalking. I'm just giving you an example of it. It has various dimensions. Next is dissemination of obscene material. Obscenity can be image, it can be words, it can be gestures, it can be audio, it can be video. And when it can be books, magazines. So when there's dissemination of obscene material online, which is very popular these days, and the worst part is that it is also popular in the cartoons which are being seen by the children. So this is also a crime which is targeting its audience as the persons or the individuals. Then we have defamation. Defamation means harming the reputation of a person online by posting directly or indirectly against that person. It can be libel, it can be slander by way of words, it can be gestures, it can be cartoons, and harming the reputation of that person, not against the public or population, but in his society, right, where he is known. And the next one is crime is the part of the cyber crimes in the higher education system. Here it is called as computer trespass, when you crack the password of a computer and you enter inside somebody's computer without the permission of the authorized hand or the owner of the computer. Then we have the indecent exposure, that is exposing the children or exposing the adults or exposing the people who are not able in a condition to understand what is happening with them to the cyber crimes, exposing their physical identities. And then is email spoofing. Email spoofing is also a part of the cyber crime and related to the higher education system, and it deals with all those mails for which we are not answerable. That means we really don't know from where these mails are coming. And the last one is pornography, which is a very big industry at the moment, especially pedophiles, the child pornography. it has become a situation of hue and cry these days, because here the children are being targeted. Then the next crime is the crime against the property. When we talk about the cyber crimes against the property, here all these crimes, because I have already mentioned them in red lines, it shows these are the crimes which are committed in the higher education system, in the academics. And it is related to computer vandalism or computer sabotage, that is destroying the computer. Then is the virus transmission. Viruses are transmitted which destroys the computers. Then we have the destructive denial of service attacks, that the computer is not taking your commands now. Unauthorized access over computer system, that is your computer trespass. Then we have the intellectual property crimes. We have three kinds of intellectual property at the moment in India. That is the patent, copyright, and trademark. And whenever there is a crime related to that, which is called as intellectual property crime, and the basic terminology which is used for it is cyber squatting. For example, I'll give an example of it. A few years back, Google had to pay large ransom to an unregistered internet protocol because that particular protocol, which was unregistered, it was using Google's goodwill, Google's name's goodwill, for acting as a server. This protocol was unregistered, and it was named www.google.com. And it was also a web server. And this, whenever by mistyping any person was clicking it, it was considering it to be a Google. Suppose sometimes we type and we miss a particular word from within. And this mistyping was leading to another web server site who was fetching the goodwill of Google website. So this is called as cyber squatting, when the URL address of a registered internet protocol address is being hacked, and then the bargain is being done to fetch ransom from the authenticated registered website. Then we have the internet time theft. This is a very common phenomenon in the higher education system. Whenever there is email bombardment inside our mailbox, because every email box has a capacity of a day to take the mails. So we spend hours and hours to move the junk and the bulk. And these hours which are being spent, there is a technique by these criminals that they fetch money for it, and it is called as internet time theft. And then we have the sale of illegal articles, which also include the sale of the stolen data, the data related to the higher education system. Then the last category of the cybercrime is the cybercrime against the society. And in this, we have the most common names that you have heard are the cyber terrorism. For example, in attack on the World Trade Center was all online planned. Then we have the distribution or the buying and selling of the pirated and the private softwares, fetching data from somewhere, making pirated CDs of it and then selling it. It can relate it to your research also. Then we have the polluting youth through indecent exposure and the illegal human trafficking online. We have also financial scams. Financial data is also available with the higher education system, and that is also leading to scam. I will let you know how it is being done. I will explain further in my few slides. And then we have online gambling. Wagering agreements are no agreements under the Indian Contract Act. Wagering contract is no contract, so it is illegal. The next one is this is the report of the National Crime Record Bureau, which is an authenticated organization which maintains the data related to, which has maintained the data related to what kind of cyber crimes have been reported in 2021 in India. So if we take a look towards this particular slide, we'll find that the basic motives for the commission of the cyber crimes in India, 33.3% were the financial gains. So from here, we can understand that 33.3% is the financial gain and 9.6% is the fraud and illegal gain. That also include your data related to the higher education system, which is being sold illegally. Forged documents are being made. Forgery is being done. So although it is underestimated, but it is turning out to be a big market. Then we have crimes related to the women, that is insulting the modesty of the women, 5.2%, sexual exploitation, 5.1%, and causing the disrepute, defamation, 3.3%. And when we look at the category of what kind of people are committing these crimes in India, we'll find that the very first one out of 100%, 19.6% are the business competitors. Privatization of this educational system and the competition among the various educational institutions. So this competition between the educational institution is also a factor which is leading to cybercrime in one way or the other, and it is reporting about 19.6% of the crimes are committed in this field. Then we have the neighbors, friends and relatives, 14.7, professional hackers, 13.5, students, 10%, sexual predators, 5.1%, and disgruntled employees, that is 3.1%, the employees which have been retrenched or they have been shunned out or they have been suspended to out of the grudges they are doing it. Now, next statistic is related to an international organization, VOG, which is dealing with violation against women globally, cyber VOG. And here also, when we are talking about the crimes against women globally, here also we have categories of cyber crimes in the higher education system. The first one, that is the ICT related violation of privacy. Here we have computer intrusions, taking, sharing, manipulating of the data or images, including intimate data. And we have the identity theft down there and impersonation. Identity theft means like you have a Facebook account, you have taken the data of a student or any employee, and now you are putting his picture at your place and you are portraying to be him. And impersonation means when you have the documents, the personal document, the passwords, the voter card, the Aadhaar card, you have forged them somehow and they're using the passwords, the credit cards of a person, you have the passcodes and you are personifying yourself to be that person. So this category and the cyber crime category, that is dealing with illegal access, illegal interception, data interference, system interference, computer related forgery, computer related fraud, and child pornography. These two categories have been recognized internationally as the areas which are a threat to the higher education system also. Now the question arises, which law is dealing with these cyber crimes in India? We have the Information Technology Act 2000. Till date, it has been amended only once, that is in the year 2008. The Ministry of Information Technology, Government of India, with the motive to make India an IT superpower by 2008, came up with the IT Act 2000, which was enforced in India on October 17, 2000. And this act was based upon the UNCITRAL Model Law of Electronic Commerce 1996 and the Singapore Electronic Transaction Act 1998. When this act was formed, initially it has 13 chapters, 4 schedules, and 94 sections. But after the amendments, it has 13 chapters, 2 schedules, and 92 sections. As such, this act is not defining cyber crimes anywhere. But from all the parts, all the chapters of this act, if understood, 2 kinds of definitions come out of cyber crimes. The first one is a narrow definition, which says cyber crimes means those crimes which are mentioned under the IT Act 2000. And the broader definition says cyber crimes can be said to be an act of commission, you are committing something, or omission. You are supposed to do something, but you are not doing it. Either you are doing it by yourself or with the help of internet and computer, either directly or indirectly, and you are doing such kind of activities or you are omitting such kind of activities online which are prohibited by law, and there is punishment provided under the Indian legal system for it, no matter the punishment is compensatory or the punishment is penal, that is imprisonment, right? So now I'll talk about the data in the higher education system. See, there is difference between data and information, first of all. When we talk about data, it means raw data. Data cannot be called as information. When we give some kind of instructions to our computer through our output or input devices like mouse or keyboard, this raw data, it is being recognized by the central processing unit of the computer system, and the central processing unit in its logarithm algorithm unit processes this data, that what is the requirement of the input that has been given, and after processing this data is changed into a readable information, and that information you can see on the monitor, which is an output device. And then this raw data, if you don't delete it, and this information, as per your convenience, you save it inside the computer in the files and in the folders and in the pen drives you take it. And in nutshell, I can say it is saved in the registers of the computer. That can be the primary memory, that can be the secondary memory, which include both the random access memory and the read-only memory. Now, question rises, why the data related to the higher education system is an easy prey to the cyber criminals? The answer is very simple. From the previous stats, we have also seen that data related offenses are not very highlighted. It is basically cyber crimes revolving around the persons, or the cyber crimes revolving around the society, which is being considered, paused and pondered in as many conferences which are taking place globally, including the European Convention of 2001, which is considered to be the backbone of the cyber crimes. They are also stressing upon the crimes either against the person or against the society. So this crimes against the property of a person, they are very much underestimated, because here the property can only be the computer or the data or the information stored inside it. So they are underestimated. That is why the crime is increasing in this area. Now, the question arises, what kind of data is there with the higher education system, the academics, the universities? What kind of data is there? Two kinds of data are there with the higher education system. The first one is the personal data, that is including, that can be related to the students, the employees, the alumni, the retired employees, the present employees, and that can be divided into three categories. The first one is including their personal details like the email, their name, their addresses, their mobile numbers, their office numbers. Second is related to the health, their health documents. And third is related to their passwords, finances, I mean to say, that is ATM passwords, PAN cards, credit cards, debit cards, and so on. So this data, when it is available online, and you and any person who has not taken proper cautions to put this data in the trusted sites, this data is an easy catch for the cyber criminals. Second is your research data. It can be your research raw data. It can be your research information. If it is stored online and it is not being backed up properly, and if the university portals are hacked, then this data is also an easy prey for the cyber criminals. And it is a huge market at the moment. Next. Let's take example. You must be thinking, ma'am is talking about stressing so much on a higher education system. Let's take example on some universities. I hope you have known these universities. The first university, with these are the universities globally which have fallen prey of this hacking of higher education system. The first one is the Penn State University in 2013. Here the data breach affected personal information of around 18,000 students. Second is your Howard University 2015. Here the operating system of the computer portals was hacked by the cyber criminal. Then we have the Dhaka University 2015. Here the personal data as well as the financial data of around 3 lakh alumni of this university was hacked. Then we have the King Saud University in 2011. The personal data of around 812 end users was hacked. Then we have the Delaware University 2013. the personal information of around 72,000 end users, including the past workers also and the present workers also, including the university records. It was hacked. Then we have the Maryland University in 2014. The cyber attackers compromised data worth 2,87,580 USD. So this itself is a situation of pausing and pondering what we are up to and what is actually happening. Not only this, the most famous example, I hope some of you have read it in the newspapers if you're into newspapers. In 2017, a Russian hacker, Rasputin, he breached 63 universities across USA, UK, and he tried to sell their data on dark web. And later on, he hacked 25 US universities, 10 UK universities, and 1 university from India as well. Now, there is a lot of hue and cry about COVID-19 and its implications, and let's see how our education system has been affected by it. No doubt, online education system turned out to be a boon during the pandemic times. But side by side, this online digitalization of education system, online digitalization of student data, online digitalization of academic records, and this online teaching and learning mode of education, which was stressed on by, I can say, hit and try method that happened globally from preschool to the higher school, it became a very easy catch of the cyber criminals because of untrusted apps, unsecured sites being used by the common man. And according to a report, the cyber crime in the higher education system in the year 2022 has increased by 20% as compared to the previous year in India. Not only this, it is estimated that by the end of 2025, the education industry will be turning out to be of 7.3 trillion US dollars. So it's a good news, but side by side, it is also a threat to the cyber security in the higher education system. Not only this, according to a report by the Threat Research and Information Analytical Division, Singapore, in 2021 only, in the Asia Pacific region, about 58% Indian institutions, higher institutions I mean to say, which include your BYJU'S, Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode, and the Tamil Nadu Directorate of Technical Education were attacked by cyber criminals, followed by 10% institutions from Indonesia. And if we talk about the top 5 countries in the which are the easy prey, easy catch of cyber criminals as well as higher education system is concerned, it includes India, USA, UK, Indonesia, and Brazil. Now the question arises, what are the triggers? What are the drivers? Why this crime is being committed? What is that drives these criminals to commit this crime? So when we talk about it, there are so many triggers. The first one is the economic attractiveness. It has been found, I have conducted an empirical study, and it has been found that usually the perpetrators, the criminals, are from the economically disadvantaged groups. For the drive for financial gain, because it is a white-collar crime, and there are very less chances of physical contact. So this economic attractiveness is a big factor which is leading to increase of this crime in the higher education system. Second factor is poverty. Initially, when the criminal commits this crime, it has been found in this survey that initially the crime is being committed because the person is poor and he considers it to be an easy catch to commit the crime and to fetch some money. And once it is he becomes an official offender, he becomes an habitual offender, he commits it to maintain his standard. So it is a poverty plus maintenance of social standards. It goes hand in hand as well as this crime in the higher education system is concerned. The third one is the weak legislation. If we talk about our legislative system, we'll find that no doubt cyber crimes include both the civil crimes as well as the criminal offenses. But if we take a look towards the punishments which are given to the culprits when they commit this crime, maximum punishments are either compensatory or they are bailable. That means the punishments where imprisonment is below 3, below 4, or below 5, or 3 to 5. So the criminals also have this feeling in their mind that they can be easily released. And that's why they take these crimes very lightly and they keep on committing it. So there is nothing deterrent, no deterrent theory is being applied on them, so that they are scared of being caught by the police because they know the legislation is weak. Next factor is the peer pressure, especially among the boys. I'll give you an example. There was an incident that took place in Delhi, that is the Bal Bharti case. You must have read it in newspaper or you have seen it in the channels also. Here, this small boy's, adolescent age, he made a pornographic site. And he put pictures of those people, those colleagues, those friends of him who were harassing him in the educational institution. So this peer pressure has been seen in, especially among the boys, and they are also driving them towards commission of this crime in higher education system, I mean to say. And the last one is the societal pressure. Just to maintain a standard, just to impress the society by your deeds, just to seek attention from people around you, people are committing this crime without understanding the grievance of this crime. Now, what are the tools being used for the commission of this crime in the higher education system? I'm just specifically talking about the higher education system. So please don't mix it with crimes against cybercrime against children or against women, because they're entirely different topics of different understanding. So this is a topic specific discussion going on right now. So the first one in this is email bombing. You must have seen it in your mails also. When you open it, you see it. So many mails have come. My email has been flooded. And I'm not getting, and your friend is calling you and asking you, I have sent you mail 2 hours back. Have you seen it or not? I have sent you a PDF. Have you seen it or not? You're not getting that PDF, because there is email bombing inside your account. Here the preparators target the victim mailbox. Question arises, who will be the victim? Victim includes all those people who spend 20 hours of the day surfing websites, making email accounts, putting passwords carelessly, running software programs without looking into their digital signature certificates. People include all those researchers who are trying to open some journals, and there are so many cookies coming over there, and they are saying yes, yes to everything. If you're not understanding a particular software program that has been sent to you through an advertisement, which is like a pop-up, popping up time and again, please don't run that program, because it might be possible that it leads to some damage to your hardware permanently or to your operating system. So what is the consequence of this email bombing? The first one is the email is flooded. The second is the service denials, destructive denial of service attacks. You are giving some command to your computer and your computer has completely refused to take it. Third is the connectivity issues. Sometimes what happens, you try to connect your laptop with hotspot, but it is not taking it. You make all the changes also in the control panel of my computer, but still it is not taking it. That means there is some major issue that has happened to your computer when you have run some untrusted app or website. Next is your network connection overloading. Yes, Time and again, a computer shows software programs needs to be updated. The software programs which you understand, kindly please update them. If you don't understand and you think that it is very much important, kindly consult somebody for that. But without knowing which software program you are updating, please don't increase the memory of the computer, because when there is data explosion inside the computer, network connection overloading takes place and the computer will not work. It will hang. Not hack. It will hang. Next is operating system shutdown. You're trying to open and this is the final call. This is the kind of heart attack to your computer that now the OS has shut down. It's not opening. Window kharab ho gaya. When people say my window has been destroyed. But how come you know its window has been destroyed? So this you have to understand. Then we have the website shutdown. That the website which you're trying to open, it is not working properly because it is hanged because of data flooding. The second way of affecting the data in the higher education system is password crack. There is difference between hacking and cracking, and you must understand it. Password cracking means when a person has unauthorized trespass to a computer system or a network, and by cracking its password, either you have compromised your password by your own self, you have told it to somebody, or somebody by way of introducing some kind of running some kind of software programs through the mails. You have run some kind of software program which has led to cracking of your passwords, and now this computer is not available for public access because it is not taking any kind of command. You will not come to know that the password has been cracked, because here, if the password has been cracked, the criminals can easily see what is inside the computer, and they can do anything with the data which is present inside the computer. The common term which is used is data diddling, data destruction, data alteration, data deletion, data addition, data stealing. All these things can happen inside the computer. In the present century, two methods are very common for cracking the passwords of the computer. The very first method is the dictionary searches. Here, the cyber criminals, they have a password dictionary, not a dictionary available in the market which they can purchase, but these are hackers, their expertise, they know what are the common kind of passwords being kept by the people, and so they make a kind of dictionary, and it's a kind of hit and try. They will try to put the passwords and they will see which password is taken by the computer. Second is the brute forces method. Here, passwords are not put. Here, some characteristic combinations of specified bit. Bit is the unit of energy in the computer. So specified bit encryption is being used. Encryption means the art of coding and decoding. So some decoding of character decoding is being done of particular size, and they try to do hit and try method so that the right combination by accident is identified by the computer. So these are the most common password cracking systems which are being used by the hackers these days. And the third one is the botnets or the robot networks. This is quite interesting. Here you will make, because of command and control method, the password is being cracked. It is a technique where the cyber criminal will have access to a computer located anywhere. He will crack the password and he will hack the system. Now the system is under his control. The system is under his control, and that system will act as a robot in his hand, or a zombie in his hand, or a drone in his hand, and will take only the command of that person, otherwise will not take command of anybody else. So this is basically called as command and control method. And this command and control method, the most common used botnets are, this is done basically through email spamming, the spam mails which you'll get in your mailbox, and it is written over there that don't open it. It is a spam, but still out of excitement we open it. We try to open it. So you can see it how disastrous it can be. Second is your denial of service attacks. Quite obvious. It is not taking your command. It is taking command of somebody else. Third is your malwares or malicious programs. The category of malicious programs is very wide. These malicious programs can be related to worms and Trojan horses and the viruses. What is the difference between the three? Trojan horses basically affect the operating system, Trojan horses affect the hardware of a computer. And the computer is completely destroyed. There is no way the computer can be rebooted then. When we talk about virus, these viruses can be introduced either through your input or output devices, as for example, you're putting a pen drive, which is virus affected. Once you put it inside your computer, it will be affected. Or it can also be through the network side, through the emails. Or you're downloading a program. You're downloading a music app without understanding its digital signature. And with that music app, the virus is also downloaded. But they are not self-replicating. If in a computer one single virus is present, the single virus will survive. But when a worm is introduced inside a computer, it is self-replicating. It is like an earthworm. It will do duplication and triplication of files when happens inside a computer. It is because of computer being affected by your worms. Well, one must understand one thing, that hacking cannot be done offline. This is a point to remember and to keep in your mind always. For committing a hacking, both the perpetrator and the victim are required to be online. Otherwise, hacking can never happen. Now, this I was not explaining. Now I'll explain it to you. Spoofing. What do you mean by saying spamming, spoofing, and phishing? Spamming is also called as snipping. Spam mail is a wholesome terminology which refers both to spoofing, no matter email spoofing or SMS spoofing, as well as phishing. It's phishing. P has to be said like phishing, not phishing, F-I-S-H-I-N-G. So it's a IT abbreviation. You have to understand it. So whenever we are receiving a mail about which we don't know anything, that is a spam mail. Spam is a common term. Whenever we receive a mail which has not been expected by us, not been liked by us, not have been selected somewhere based on our choices and everything, we don't know from where it has come, who is the person sending the mail, what is it, what not, that is a spam mail. Now, what is spoofing and what is phishing? When this spam mail is of a kind where there is a doubt regarding its IP address, Internet Protocol address. For example, sometimes you receive a mail, we are speaking from, suppose if it is a Rediff mail, and we are from Rediff administrator department, and your Rediff mail account is going to be closed within 1 day. Kindly give us the personal details related to this, and this. No mail can send you this kind of message from the administrator. So this kind of mails where they pretend to be from an authenticated legal source. We are from the bank or we are from RBI. These kind of mails are called as spoofed mails, where there is a doubt, complete doubt regarding the Internet Protocol address, the address from where the mail has come. And when there is a mail where there is doubt regarding the name, falsification of name of the originator. I am XYZ and you are the lucky winner of this much of price and kindly claim it, give us these details. So this is called as phishing. And these mails, no matter it is a spoofed mail or it is a phishing or it is a spam mail, they basically are for the purpose of fetching the personal information of a person. Now, this is a data related to overall spam mails which are affecting which are a part of the cybercrime at the moment. So from all the mails which are sent throughout the day, globally, 45% of all the mails are the spam mails. And still, this particular part is underestimated, that is related to the data. Out of which advertisement related spams, adult related spams, and finance related spams, they are having the maximum percentage, followed by the scams and fraud spams and the miscellaneous spams. And this is the global data related to the spam mail only, not the cyber crimes. So this is the global data related to the spam mails, and you can see that India contributes to spam mails around 5.16%, and USA is bagging the position with 18.75% of the spam mail globally. Now, this is what our Information Technology Act 2000 and Amendment 2008 providing for the laws regulating the cyber crimes online. So when we talk about it, the very first one is the spamming and the phishing. And we can see that from the above table, from the slide, that the IT Act 2000 or the amendment of 2008 is not dealing with spamming and phishing. We have Anti-Spamming Act 2001, and we have the Unsolicited Commercial Email Act 2001, and they are jointly dealing with the offenses related to spamming and phishing, and the punishment in both the acts is compensatory. There is no imprisonment. As far as your IT Act is concerned, and we have section 66, which is dealing with hacking, and this hacking will also include your denial of service attacks, and the punishment that has been provided for it is 3 years of imprisonment and fine of rupees 5 lakh. And it can be a case where somebody is having somebody has caused wrongful loss or damage to the public, or destroys, deletes, alters any information inside the resource. That is, information means data, raw data and the information, thereby diminishing its value. That means the secrecy, the privacy of the computer has been destroyed. Next, we have the section 43 dealing with computer sabotage. And section 43, sabotage or computer vandalism or computer destruction are one and the same thing. And here the penalty cannot be restricted, although roughly it has been written the penalty of in Indian rupees 10 million. But it depends upon what kind of loss has been caused to the computer. Suppose if it is a computer system in RAW, or it is a computer system which is dealing with some state government, or a computer system with some central government organization, then the loss is grave. So as much loss has been caused to the computer system and the data stored inside it, that much compensatory penalty has to be paid. Then we have section 65. 65 is dealing with computer tampering. Tampering is basically to tamper with the computer source code, trespassing, irritating the computer system, computer network, and whosoever without the permission from the authorized person, the dealing hand of the computer, is trespassing a computer and causing any kind of tampering inside the computer, he will be imprisoned for 3 years, and he can also pay fine that is equivalent to rupees 2 lakh. Now the question arises, where is the problem? Why it is not controlled? Factors we know, driving forces we know. Problem is very grave. We have 3 categories of people over here who are contributing to the cyber crimes in the higher education system. The first one is the primary perpetrators. That means the person who is the mastermind of this crime, who will commit, who has decided to hack the computers of a particular university, suppose. And he can be a person who has committed this crime for the first time and does not want to commit it. But he can also be a person who is an habitual offender, who is an experienced person. And if he is an habitual offender, then he will definitely go for peer-to-peer. Peer means cyber cafe. Not a single computer is destroyed, but all the computers connected to one computer, that internet working thing, they are destroyed. So he can be an habitual offender, and he can be a newcomer also. Second part is of the secondary perpetrators and the retransmitter. These are the people, these are those clowns, basically. Those who without thinking committed because the primary perpetrator has gained lot of money. So they, without thinking about it, they retransmit it, or they commit this crime, working on the guidelines of the pre-perpetrators without having the knowledge what exactly they are going to do. And just their one target is there, that is financial gain. They are not interested in knowing what will be the effect of it. And third is the intermediaries. Whenever there is transmission of communication between a host and a receiver, you need an internet connection. And this internet connection is being provided by the intermediary. That means host, and between the host and the recipient, there is one more party is there, that is called as intermediator. So these intermediators can also, for financial gain, compromise their principles, although it is the duty of the intermediator not to see providing the internet connection to the host and the recipient. Any intermediator, it can be a government agency, it can be private as well. They will not look into the privacy of the data which is being transferred. But if for financial gain, the intermediaries are involved in these kind of scams, then they are also responsible. And thus we can see that the problem lies at every step. So what are the musts we remember as a person? This is very important. There are certain things that we can do personally, and there are certain things which can be done by the educational institutions also. So the very first thing that we can do personally, that whenever we are online, we should download only from the trusted websites, the website that we know. If we don't know anything, just to impress or just for experience, we are downloading something, maybe we are an easy catch. And if we don't know, we have a facility of site advisors. We can also make use of the software programs like site advisors, who will allow the users to verify the status of the sites before downloading. Second thing is, we should not download from the unregistered apps or the unsecured apps. That means the apps whose digital signature is not known, or we have never listened about those apps, and we have not seen anybody else using it. Third is, we should have a strong pass. So this is very important. We should change our password after every 6 months at least, and we should make it a bit colorful with some alphabets, some numerical things inside it, so that it should not be an easy catch. Then we should make use of multi-facet authentication. That means not only the password, we should also keep other kind of authentications for our particular accounts, so that in case one is hacked from other, we can completely stop it. Then we must update our computer system, but every software update we need not update, because that can cause data trafficking inside the computer. So we should update it at regular intervals after proper understanding. Then we should also monitor unusual traffic and activity on websites. Sometimes when we download a particular software program, with that we get many things free. We are downloading a particular app and we get the music channel free. Sometimes we get something else free. So these free things, nothing comes free. We must remember it. There is nothing free. So we should monitor the use of unusual traffic and activity on website. Then we must monitor the exposed data, leaked SSS, and misconfigured apps. That means I'm talking about the cache data. The data that you have sent to the recycle bin, or you have opened an app and you have not closed it, or the computer has been shut down and the app is still closed or open, we have to keep a check upon it, which our data is exposed. No matter the data is not important for us, but it is exposed. So we have to keep a check on it. When we open a particular app, we should close it also. Then we have must block illegitimate internet protocol addresses. These are called as pop-ups, and we need not, these pop-ups are pop-ups, that's why their name is like this, or the cookies, and we should not encourage them in a computer system. Then we should deactivate those portals which are forwarded by the network firewall. Every window comes with a inbuilt feature to protect the window, which is called as window firewall, and we should make use of it. If the window firewall is not permitting us to run a program, and the icon is coming, run it anyway, run it with the risk. Please don't do that, because if the firewall is saying it to deactivate, not to activate it, then you should not activate it. And the last but not the least, you must back up your data. You should back up your data both online as well as offline. You should back it up on your pen drives or your CDs, or a copy of that in the email or in the computer system, in a file, in a folder, in your, if you have a mobile, that's cloud of the mobile, or in the, if you are attached, you must have a Gmail account, and you should back up your data somewhere. So these are the small little precautions that we can take, and we can protect our data from being mishandled as a researcher. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. It was really very informative. Since we all are living in an increasing digital world, and it is very important that we educate ourselves about cybersecurity. Also, we all are vulnerable, and the responsibility is on us as individuals, organizations, and companies, to strengthen our defenses and to reduce the risks by educating ourselves about cybersecurity. And the cybersecurity definitely starts with all of us, and it is our greatest weapon and the best defense against any cyber attack. So, ma'am, you have definitely done a very good job, let me tell you, because it was very informative, and there were so many things, about which we become very casual while dealing with.
This is really a matter of concern these days, because we usually ignore these things.
Yes, ma'am, because we just think, like, let it be. It's like if some threats are coming on the internet, whenever we are surfing on internet, so we just have the tendency to ignore it, or we click on the button and then we actually don't realize what is going to happen or what will be the consequences. So it was very informative. Thank you very much for updating us.
Yeah,
thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to ask, yes, Dr. Manpreet Arora is also with us. So I request all the faculty members, the research scholars, to please ask whatever questions you have, doubts you have, concerns, queries, suggestions, comments, compliments. The floor is open to all of you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Very good evening.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yes.
So I am Dr. Gopal from Vikramsingpuri University, Nellore, Andhra Pradesh, working as assistant professor in the Department of Physics. So today's presentations, both the presentations are really good and informative. The presentation on qualitative research by Manpreet Kaur and presentation on cybercrime by Shalini Kashmiriya. Really good presentations, ma'am. Thank you very much for such a nice presentations. So the Dr. Manpreet Kaur has covered a lot of topics in that qualitative research, like ethnography, phenomenology, ground theory, and all those. I have one question, ma'am. Dr. Manpreet Kaur, I have one question. Can't we quantify the qualitative research?
I was not able to hear properly. What did you say, sir? Pardon me?
Madam, can't we quantify the qualitative research?
That's the basic fundamental thing. Now, when you are not able to quantify something, then we move towards qualitative research. But yes, there are certain tools where you have to quantify certain things in qualitative research also. As I told you in the PPT, that coding is done in qualitative research also, which is a quantifying method. Sometimes when you do documentation and memoing, that is also categorized, and that is also a way of quantifying certain data. But ultimately, you can, predict, or you can reach up to certain conclusions in qualitative aspect also. So the basic thrust is, when you are not able to quantify something, then only you pursue the qualitative research. But as your question stands, correct also, valid also in some fields like medical, when the doctor is, say for example, looking at a patient who is suffering from stress, and related diseases pop up, like migraine pops up, or gastro diseases are majorly coming to a person due to stress, then obviously the quantification of some sort of that ailment has to be done. Then only he'll prescribe you some medicine, or going for certain tests also. So they obviously in certain fields go hand by hand.
So in some cases, qualitative research in turn be the quantitative research.
Yeah, they go hand by hand, I must say. They go parallel.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. And I have a question to Dr. Shalini Kashmiri.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am,
Yes,
for
sir.
such a wonderful presentation, really, on cybercrimes, covering a lot of aspects like the nature of cybercrimes, blue collar and white collar crimes, and then the national, international statistics on the cybercrimes, and also the IT Act, the and the sections that are covered in the IT Act, and the penalties that are based on the crimes. So it's really a informative presentation, madam. Thank you very much for the nice presentation. And my question is, having so many, what can you say, the IT Act sections, why the cybercrime is going on, it's increasing day by day, in my opinion, I think. So the reason.
Right, sir. It's a very good question. I must answer it, and it's been asked many times from me. So if you take a look towards the IT Act of 2000, it is not exhaustive. There are so many crimes which are not included in it till date. There are crime like cyber stalking is not there, spamming is not there, phishing is not there. Then money laundering is not there. We talk about white collar crimes and money laundering is not there. So it is a kind of gap filler because it came in the year 2000 only. It's just a 10, 12, 13 years of journey of this crime and this act. And still it is like hit and try going on. Some of the crimes are mentioned in IPC. Whenever you have to regulate something, you should have a comprehensive plan for it, a comprehensive law. But here, if we take a look at the cyber crime, it is scattered. Some crimes are present in the penal provisions of Indian Penal Code. Some are regulated by the IT Act, and some are regulated under the intellectual property rights. So this is a very big problem. This is a very big problem because of non-harmonious relation between the criminal and the civil aspect of this crime. And that is the reason why it is growing. Second is, I have given an example also. We don't have national harmony and we can't have international then. First, the domestic laws, criminal as well as civil, need to be compromised. There should be harmonious construction of laws between them. Only then we can talk about at par with some international laws. So every country have their different domestic laws regulating cyber crimes, and they are different. For example, pornography is an offense in India. But in certain countries, to certain extent, it is not an offense. So if it is committed from there in India, India will ask for that extradition of that person, but that person will not be sent to India because there it is not a crime. So this jurisdictional issue is a big problem for the increasing of this crime. So unless and until there is some harmonious construction of laws, because everything cannot go with memoranda of understanding and sharing of the files between the countries and getting the clicks, but the grassroots thing is not happening. Implementation will take place when there will be harmonious construction. That is the basic reason.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Any other question?
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
sir. Yes, sir. I would request all the participants to please turn on their cameras so that we could capture some pictures for the day session as well.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, a very good presentation from Dr. Shalini. I have some questions related to the cyber laws and cyber crimes.
Right, sir.
After listening your presentation, I come to know that after 2000, Cyber Act 2000, there is a lot of amendments is going on. still we cannot prevent, and we are not taking any major steps to prevent cyber law. What is the government policies regarding this, the latest government policies? Can you
Sir,
elaborate these things?
of course. Sir, there are so many rules, regulations are coming, how to regulate I must add here. The major thing that has taken place is that we have an independent cyber regulation, cyber appellate tribunal. The cases related to cyber laws don't go to the civil courts now. They don't go to the district and the session judges. They go to an exclusive tribunal has been made. This is what the government has done, and it is very good. That is, the clubbing of all the cyber crimes has been done. We have cyber regulation appellate tribunal, and the cases related to cyber crimes goes to that place only. So this is a good step that now the victims don't have to go to the district court or the session court for justice. Second thing is, during the pandemic times, judicial activism has been seen, especially in the cyber cases. All the cyber cases has been judged by the judges online. That was a very major step that has taken place. They also did compartmentalization of the cases, like cases, cyber crimes related to the property, to the person, and to the society, and they have tried to dispose them off online, as it happens in the other countries also. So these are the steps which are being taken, but the major thing remains the same unless and until we don't have an exhaustive act for it, a comprehensive act. The problem will remain the problem. And yes, of course, every day a new cyber crime is coming. So that is also a problem. It is an area which is not dealing with your traditional crimes. A cyber crime can also lead to suicide. It is branching out. It can also lead to suicide. Suppose if you're defaming somebody online and that person gets mentally harassed and pressurized and commits suicide. So a cyber crime can lead to a civil wrong where you are doing a defamation, and it is also leading to a criminal offense of a very heinous nature. So in this way, this crime is expanding, and there is a dire necessity of uniformity among the laws. The civil and the criminal law has to go parallel to fetch these crimes. Otherwise, it is very difficult to control.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
I can see some hands risen. Mr. Gaurish Dixit, do you have a question to be asked from both the speakers, any of the speakers? All right. Anybody else?
Okay, Madam Shalini,
Thank you, sir.
could you, yeah, it's a very good information and nice explanation, and we have learned a lot of things from your presentation, ma'am. Ma'am, just you have mentioned something about the cybercrime against these children. So could you give some suggestions on literature in cybercrime against children? If you can
Yes, of
highlight
course.
some points, ma'am.
Of course, this is very important. Please don't give mobiles to your children, and please watch what they are watching in TV. Very simple things. Don't show in front of, we have been appraised by our parents, and they did have mobile and TVs, and they were managing their jobs also, and they were taking care of us also, and we are sitting on good post at the moment with the grace of Almighty. So please don't pose in front of your children that you are so busy that you need to give a mobile to your child and you are busy doing your own stuff. And whenever your children are watching cartoons also, which is not good for their eyes also, because it causes squint in their eyes, see what kind of cartoon and what kind of language they are watching. This is very important.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Because this pedophile is a big industries. This is the latest amendment after 2008, that from the adult pornography, section 66B of the IT Act has separated child pornography from adult pornography. Because child pornography is a very big market these days. So the reason is very simple. Children does not know the nature of the act they are doing, and they are very easy catch. So we must keep a check upon the child, especially a child up to 12 years of age. 12 to 16, they still start thinking and asking questions. But up to 12 years of age, they are totally innocent. Their eyes are innocent, and they should not be exposed to anything which is lascivious to their prudent interest, which is not good for their innocent eyes. So the burden is on us only and nobody else, that what our
That's
childs are.
true, ma'am. Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome, sir.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
One more question from my side, madam. Apart from
Yes, sir.
listening this as the beautiful presentation, then what about rural the cyber crime victims, the awareness? What would the planning for this awareness? How
Sir,
to save them from this type of crime?
Sir, we have legal aid clinics and we have the NGOs. And there are so many legal aid clinics and NGOs. And what suggestions as a law, from a law background I can give is that we have legal cells and we have legal aid clinics. And there is a provision in the universities also for the research scholars. They get a certificate for that they can adopt a village, a rural village. And they can give information, they can guide them there. Because awareness of what you make a right, you make a legislation, pass it in the parliament, doesn't matter. Unless and until a common man is knowing about it. Common man will know only when you will go and tell the common man. And if he is an illiterate person and is from a rural area where internet connection comes only 1 hour a day, there you need to have a physical contact with the person. So these NGOs who are fetching lot of money, and the legal aid cells are there, and even they are freelancer people also, and the government, the administration side, the bureaucrats, these SDNs and these IAS who are having the rural postings and they're posting their pictures and we are doing this and that work. Please give a common awareness to the people firstly. What are the laws being made and how you have to use them? Because people know about the laws, but you cannot impose them. There are sections in the IT Act which says that unless and until a particular state government agency or a private agency which is regulated by the state government or the center government is not completely understanding the online mode of something, you cannot pressurize them. You cannot pressurize them. There is a law. There is a section for it. If you are comfortable with the hard copies only, take the hard copies, unless and until you are totally independent in dealing with the online thing. This is a very big problem in India at the moment, that without understanding how to operate a proper thing, we just start using it. And we become a very easy catch. So education, IT education does not require that you should be an IT expert, but basic IT education, because internet and computer, if you can make a TikTok, openly speaking, if you can make a TikTok and you can make some other thing on Instagram, then you can be IT educated also about your rights. What are the cyber crimes which are committed against you? So that makes a lot of difference. This education is very much important and it has to be done at the grassroots level.
Okay, thank you, madam. One more question I have regarding,
Yes,
I have gone through some survey areas. The crimes are more in the rural areas nowadays,
exactly.
especially
Yes.
the financial. But what is the role of the college, local colleges? Role of the colleges
Sir,
to
when I was
prevent
talking,
the crimes or giving more awareness to the rural peoples.
So that was I was telling you, if the college is located in rural areas, that means someone from the rural family is studying there. So it becomes your responsibility to educate the people of your family. And secondly, I have talked about the drives of cybercrime. So I have talked about economic disparity and poverty there. The crime is very common among the poor and the rural people because they have the feeling that those who are rich, laws are meant for them. This is a common understanding in India. Those who are rich, they will escape. And those who are rich, laws are meant for them. So that's why to reach up, to become rich, they take these shortcuts. So those who are studying in colleges also in rural areas, they should carry out different kinds of dramas or nukkads, I can say. It is a suggestion. You can carry out these kind of programs. You have your NSS camps also. So you can carry out these, the group, you can make the groups and they can carry out the dramas and the nukkads regarding what kind of cyber crimes are. I've told you about the cyber crimes which can happen with the people, common cyber crimes. Pornography is very common. Child pornography is very common. Obscenity is very common. I've talked about the person, property and society. This much can be educated. So awareness is must. Awareness is must. So you can make them aware, and only local can aware it, not an outsider, because people will understand the local more. So awareness is must. Unless and until they're not aware, they will not understand it.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Madam, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Dr. Shalini, madam, good evening.
Good
I am
evening,
from
sir.
I am from Maharashtra, Nagpur. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Thank you, madam. Madam, I just wanted to know, in the period of Corona, there were some issues in some of the colleges in our, I mean to say, area, which we came across, like letters were issued to some teachers, and there were some issues related to the, I mean, grievances, I can say, of some of the teachers and even non-teaching staff. Does it fall under the crime or what we are talking about, like online harassment, whatever? Can we define it like
What kind of issues, sir?
it was
What
with
kind of
relate,
issues?
it was with related to the teaching of the concerned teachers who have not conducted the class during the period of online when the virtual classes were going on, and there were some
So you must
even
be
different.
using Google registers for it.
Yes,
Means this
yes,
is
yes,
a
yes. Even Google Meets were being used, and then there was some,
exactly. So
and it
that
was
doesn't come under cyber crime. That doesn't come under cyber crime, sir,
that doesn't
because
come.
that is your personal administration, na?
Yeah,
That is a
yeah.
personal administration, how you are regulating your online classes. So we have provision of Google Meet there. You can take the photos, you can maintain your documents. That is a personal. You cannot forge it.
No, I am talking about online harassment. Like, if teacher has not conducted any class and the principal has issued some letters by sending emails, messaging him on the WhatsApp groups and all, then taking the photos of screenshots and sending the letter again to the email to the teachers and asking some questions and explanations on the memos and show cause notices. So, will that fall under online harassment, and does it has any base of cybercrime? What you are talking about, or, I mean to say, is there any
Okay, so you
regulation
are
or?
talking about the authentication of the evidence which is being
Yes,
given that
yes,
that particular person who has been harassed.
yes, yes.
So that depends upon your evidentiary document, basically. So there is a separate law for it, that which
Okay.
document can be produced in evidence and which
Okay.
document cannot be produced in evidence. You just take a click and you give it. It is not having any evidentiary value. If your High Court of Maharashtra is updating its judgments as a public record, it is not having any evidentiary value in any case. There are certain laws related to it, that which documents will be considered of having an evidentiary value and which not, and it's a complete lecture in itself. So that has to be dealt under that. Then only your source code is seen, who is the dealing hand is seen in that case, from which source code it has been sent, the email was linked to your actual bank account or not. Means
Yes.
it might also be possible that from your WhatsApp account somebody else is harassing and sending the mails, but because the mobile belongs to you and you have given your Aadhaar card for that and it is registered on your number, you will be the culprit. So
Yes.
evidential value of the document in case of online harassment, if you have a recording, that can play a role, because
Yes.
recording is an oral evidence. So
Yes.
which will be considered to be a primary evidence and which will be considered to be a secondary evidence has to be seen, and it varies from record to record, and it has to be judged like that only.
Right, because if we ask for any details like call details to the companies, whatever the company, VI company, like Idea or whatever. So they ask, we don't find any crime in this, so we cannot give you the call details, history, whatever you
No,
are
no, no,
asking
no.
for. So
Even if a police station refuses to lodge an FIR, if you go to and file a complaint, somebody is harassing me, and if the police officer is refusing to register an FIR, simply within you can go to the magistrate and file a complaint. So it's not an issue. They are just trying to settle down outside litigation only. Otherwise, there is always a provision for it. You can definitely have a complaint in the police station regarding it, and there are penal provisions for it. And if the police authorities are compromised, you can go to the magistrate and you can file a complaint there also.
yes,
There's no
that's it.
problem.
Thank you, madam. Thank you,
Sir, thank you, thank you.
thank you, thank you.
Any more questions? All right. So with this, we come to the end of day 2 International Virtual Faculty Development Program. I sincerely thank both the speakers, Dr. Manpreet Arora and Dr. Shalini Kashmiria, for making this entire session, both the sessions, so interactive, so informative, and so engaging as well. One was totally related to research and another was totally related to crime. Two opposite things, but then very interesting and very informative. I thank you all very much. Thank you all the participants for patiently listening and engaging yourself for the interaction also. See you.